nasty bloody night. In addition to the rain and everything, there are trucks across the way. Finally gave up and put my earplugs in, but I still had a hell of a time sleeping. He really wasn't happy when I came in here last night. I assume he's got babies in there because he just brought a worm. Hey guys. So in addition to my little bird friend, I've seen some boats, some tows working over there, and I've been hearing this alarm off and on, and I just realized it's a blasting alarm because there's a big boom right after. This is actually really impressive as far as shelters go. It needs a broom so it can be kind of swept up inside, and it has an unfortunate amount of tagging, but other than that, I was really happy when I found this last night. I had been in the rain for the last, 45 minutes or so. Things were soaking wet, covered in spiders, and my phone was down to about 5 or 6%. And unfortunately, when things get really wet like that and the charging port has moisture in it, the phone will refuse to charge. So I was a little concerned for a little while there. Eventually, I was able to get it working. When it used to happen with the lightning port, there was a trick where you could wrap the lightning end in a napkin or like Kleenex and plug it in. It doesn't work so well with the USB-C. I'm getting a late start once again. I'm in a vicious cycle where I start late, so I hike late, so I fall asleep late, so I don't get enough sleep, so I wake up late, so I edit late, yada yada. I did get the opportunity to dry out my clothing a little at least. No sign of a privy, sadly, but they did a lot of work on this thing. I just shot in here last night and basically stripped off everything wet and dove into my emotional support Skittles, contemplating my life choices. So I switched back to the hard tips on the Black Diamonds because the rubber ones I wore out after about like a week and change. I did almost buy a pair of these at that outfitter back in wherever the last city in Ohio was, Milford I think it was. However, look what I found yesterday. These things always fall off, which is why I didn't want to spend 20-30 bucks on them. And sure enough, I actually found a whole set yesterday. So no rodent issues and only one cockroach last night. That is a concern in some of the shelters. That one on the Buckeye, I literally had multiple cockroaches running at my legs while I was opening the windows to just get a look around. I swear I heard a vehicle go by sometime late last night, around midnight. I was struggling to get to sleep. Not sure why. I was beat and done by the time I got in. Maybe it's just the hard floors. It's generally softer being on the dirt or whatever than on wood. And welcome to a new day and a new face full of spiders. The only really bad one. There was literally this one that was about as big as my eye, maybe a little bigger. And I ran face first into the web despite trying to clear it. So I have about 10 more miles left of this. There is some sort of shortcut across an old bridge. But I got my ears perked up when I heard adventurous. And then when it was followed by shortcut, I was like, eh. Basically, I do I'm doing all but 5 miles of this loop, I think. And that drops me off on a road, and then I basically retrace this side of the loop. This has been a really well-maintained bit of trail, though, and it was nice. I wish Jen had been here, though, because I saw 2 turtles, I don't know how many F's, the baby birds, all that. She would have just been in heaven. It rained on me for the last 40 minutes, an hour last night. And then once I got into the shelter, it really started coming down just as soon as I got inside. I was actually looking at the radar wishing it would go bigger because I'm like, I'm in cover, let me have it. Not even a single flash of lightning though. I have a lot of justified confidence of being in a tent in a storm, but I have before been in storms bad enough where we were bracing the sides of the tent to hold it up because we were afraid that the tent poles might collapse. It is actually one of the advantages of the trekking pole tents because as long as you can get them tied down, you don't have to worry about the trekking poles breaking as easy as the tent poles can. But they are bigger to set up, they are more touchy, and that's generally not things that are helpful on the style of trips we are doing. For the moment, it's looking like a sunny and warm day again, so I will be soaked due to sweat, not due to rain. But who knows how quickly that is going to change. Also, I'm kind of on the dregs of my food. I only have one more of the bean dinners left. I've done a good job at, whoa, freaking hell. As I was saying, I've done a good job of stretching the bean dinners and things, but only have one left, and Jen will be bringing more. So I think there is some sort of like a convenience store marathon or Dollar General today. Jen was putting in the notes that I had like 110-mile food carry from Corydon because we were looking more at, Walmarts and supermarkets for a while there. And it is just not worth carrying that much weight on my back when I'm just hitting the pavement. It has really made me appreciate just, playing around with the amount of water and food on my back, just how much easier it must be pushing one of those carts because you don't have that much weight going down on the ball of your foot. Granted, if I didn't weigh as much as I did, that would also make that easier. You might have noticed yesterday I actually came across 2 small water caches, gallon jugs left out, but they weren't marked, and I don't want to use up something if somebody, left it for themselves and they were depending on that. Normally you're supposed to write on the bottles, who it's for, the date, stuff like that. So I don't know what the deal with those were. I found 2 flowing sources I felt comfortable filtering out of. It looks like there is one other listed on Hiking America in the next 10 miles or so. So the others weren't marked, but I've put them in. Zach should have a much easier time coming after me in a few of these sections. Well, good news, I just ran into somebody hiking with 2 kids, so the spider webs are now knocked down for a little while. So you might think, well, when Jen is here, she can break trail some of the time, but similar to Snow, she only comes up to about beard height on me, so I'll still end up getting a face full of spider webs. I'm actually surprised I hadn't decided to stop and dig a cat hole when they came across me. That usually seems like the best way to summon help. If I am ever seriously lost in the wilderness and in danger of dying, that is my plan. Drop my pants, squat over a cat hole, and then just wait for somebody to show up in the next 20 seconds. I'm actually hearing more voices. It's a Thursday, so I wouldn't be expecting to see a ton of people. Happy I'm seeing them this morning instead of last night, though. If somebody had showed up at the shelter, even with it pouring, I would have set up my tent and gone outside. I was bitter enough about having to share it with that kooky bird. So the first one was a guy with 2 kids, and that one was 2 ladies with like 4 kids. When they came up, they all jumped off the trail and they went, "You're ready for this. We are not." Yeah, those folks didn't have trekking poles. This must have been fun. It's gonna be fun for me. This must have been where those friends back there came from. They have a couple of shelters back here that are marked as picnic, not camping. Guess this is one of those. I mean, it is marked mat, but you know how many mats there are out in the world? Okay. Taters would be totally in love here. Hey, littlest guy. He is a really little guy. Just moved him to the side of the trail. Didn't want him to get stepped on. Brief side trip for bathroom and water. Okay, hydrated, ate some of my dwindling food. It is looking like I'm gonna have a bit of a hitch today. Leavenworth is the town after I jump back on the road, and I had been planning to buy another day and change worth of food. I'm out of breakfast and my snack food's getting kind of light. However, it looks like the general store there closes at 5. And, you know, it's already 1 o'clock here, so there's no way I'll make that. So I'm going to have to just do a wimpy 16-mile day. Go in tomorrow morning, get food. So that'll be Friday morning. I can hit the shop early, and then I will get as far as I can Friday. And then I think Jen comes in Saturday sometime, so I can probably get somewhere past Derby. I had hoped, though, that I could, take a day off and be a little fresher when she arrives, but looks like I am off in the boonies again. Derby, whatever it is, actually had some cabins shown, but per Jen, those might be kind of upscale and a little out of our budget. I mean, I did get a Nero from Todd and Sharon's that first day, so it's not like I am absolutely dying here, getting too cranky. But I just, I would hate for us to have a couple of rough days when Jen gets here. And then I'm like, yeah, I need a zero while she's still chomping at the bit to get going. Whenever I get out here, at least, I mean, I don't want to take a zero until I'm well on my way. I just look forward so much to getting out here and the feeling of moving. I want to be down the road. So as far as the drop off, that's fine. We'll figure something out. There are some trails and some roads past there, but we've managed to do this in pretty much every configuration over the years, from me stopping somewhere and taking a day off and her arriving, to her just getting pitched out the car, to everything in between. I just really hope the wildlife continues like it has been. It feels like this would have been a Taters-worthy bonanza with the little turtles, the big turtles, the Fs, the baby birds. And I send her pictures, but I don't get to see her react to them. I think this is still the adventure trail. Looks like they rerouted things. I had to backtrack a short amount. So this was marked as an adventurous shortcut. I would totally go across it. I'm not that worried about that. It's just, I don't like shortcuts. The road right over there. I'm going to follow the trail for the rest of the way. And then it hits the road and comes right back over there. Welcome to O'Bannon. I wouldn't want to give up my nice trail miles now, would I? Just, get me into town in time for a resupply or something silly like that. So it's cool, though. Stinging nettles and slippery mud. It's just like being back in Ohio. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I don't even feel bad missing that turn. Oh, I hate these plants. This trail has been in such good shape. And then, pretty much right when I didn't take that shortcut over the bridge, it has been just mud and vegetation, and some of this is these damn stinging nettles. I really don't know what's going on back here, but that had to be a rerouted trail. There was one of these posts at the bottom, but I'm thinking there's something above Iron Bridge, and because that was just overgrown to a ridiculous amount compared with this and the other sections. There's no way people are doing that as part of a loop like this. Well, that was fun. Took longer than expected, but what else is new, right? Okay, pavement at long last. The mud today was pretty atrocious. So I would normally be looking forward to another good 4-ish hours of hiking tonight, but I didn't make it to the hardware store in Leavenworth, so I'm gonna have to camp right outside of town, get food in the morning, and then figure out what we're doing. Unfortunately, I don't even have internet to look into the caves more. Seems like there must be a couple of them around here. Jen and I have done some caving, and it's one of those things I'd like to get back to, but keep wanting to do big, long trips for some reason. My lack of sleep last night is really dragging me here. Plus, I could use a little more food. Okay, there was a note that a couple of people had managed to stay here. Not really my preference, but figured at least take a look. Kind of wish I had stopped a ways back where I was in a more remote spot. I am just massively dragging, and it's currently up in the air as to whether I'm going to get a break before Jen comes back or not. It's been hard to get on the same page with some of the last minute stuff since she's been so busy. Hey, it's a twofer without a door even. So I am currently charging my phone and debating. I could obviously try and stealth in here. I could not be visible from the road, but if anybody shows up in the middle of the night at this rest stop, that could be unpleasant. Okay, so this is not something I'm overly comfortable with, but it's the best of the options tonight without backtracking. I thought I was going to go into the bushes, but there are no trespassing signs back there, so I'm just set up in a corner where somebody would have to come pretty far to be able to see me. And I'm mostly not even visible from the road, so should be fine. And I'll get moving relatively early in the morning to get over to that store. I'm enjoying getting to watch all the lightning bugs, but I'm kind of kicking myself because if I'd stopped an hour or so back, I could have gone off into the woods and been in more of a campsite that's closer to my comfort zone. But hey, if police lights hit me, it'll make for an interesting thumbnail, right?